Hello, Master Malika here. Today we're going to talk about a technique that often flusters students because there are a few details in it, and we'll try to make it a little bit more simple. It's called play guitar to the front. There are several different types of play the guitar. There's play the guitar to the front, there's play the guitar half step up and half step back, and there's also play the guitar to the side with a half step up and a half step back. The half step up and half step back, it's not a critical detail, but it is something interesting in the Chang Style Tai Chi. And what it refers to is really a slight adjustment in your weight and in your relative position to the opponent. So a half step up could have a knee lift like this, and it could have a full shifting of the weight back. So a half step up from a brush knee position may have a large movement of the knee, a full step back, and then a half step retreat of the front foot. That'd be a half step up and a half step back, play the guitar. And that's play the guitar to the front. Play the guitar in essence means that two of your hands control the arm of the opponent, meaning controlling the wrist of the opponent with one hand and controlling the elbow of the opponent with the other. Play the guitar. It looks somewhat like you're strumming the guitar, or maybe if you had the violin and the bow, you would be using that. So it's just something to help people remember what it means to play the guitar. The play the guitar to the front only has a pull back. So what we would be doing is from the forward position of the brush knee, we shift the weight back. It's very important that you shift your weight back. Otherwise, you're just doing a movement of the arm. It's not really Tai Chi. So you shift your weight back, and as you do, you slowly drop your right wrist down. Then you're going to twist your waist and come back almost to where you were before. So the first part of the movement of the right hand is to shift your weight back and kind of pull your arm down. Then twist your waist to the left and back to the right and roll your wrist onto the top. Lastly, you pull your foot in, keep your weight very light, and then you would push forward with the hips and pelvis. This is pong, or holding and lifting, and then you would raise up so that your hand faces towards your ear and your rear guard faces down towards your elbow. There's really only a little bit of space between your hand and your elbow on play the guitar like this. And your foot's very light, and your weight is back, and your hips are tilted up and under. Now this might confuse you a little bit, the front view, but I shift my weight back, and I turn the hand, and then as I bring this in, I shift the weight into the back leg, and I lift the hips up and in. What's important is that this hand goes down and around, and then drops back down again. We really don't want to take the hand around this way. It's a different type of release. This type of release is to shift your weight, use the strength of your front leg, push away, and therefore kind of pull your hand out of the grip of an opponent. Then when we roll the wrist, we're actually going on top of their grip. Then coming underneath the elbow, use the hips and tuck in the pelvis to help lift up. Now if you're doing mirror image, this may make your life a little bit easier here. Shift your weight back, twist, lift up, tuck the pelvis in. You really don't have to practice a complex movement like this on both sides. You can do a simple version of play the guitar. This is a moving version. One of the big three that I learned from the late Grandmaster Chang Style. I'll do it forward, and then I don't have a lot of room here in my studio, but I'll show you a little bit from the side. We start out with the right hand and the left hand, This is kind of a deflecting, and this is like arm leading. And these two pull down. Then I tuck in the hips and tuck in the pelvis. I lift the arm up and I step, follow step. Now to do the other side, I open the toe, deflect with the left hand, arm leading with the right, put my right foot forward, I pull down, then I tuck in the pelvis and the hips, I lift up and step, follow step. Now sometimes I'll sequence the receiving method of the wrist slightly ahead of the elbow. So it would look more like play the guitar if I did both in unison. That makes it a little bit more complex to see what I'm doing. And in reality, I'm going to receive with this hand first, and then this hand just slightly thereafter. The lead hand first. Then I've got my control. Now I do my technique. Sometimes with the footwork, I've developed an ability to go backwards on both movements, because typically when you're receiving, you yield a little bit. And that can be kind of confusing. So I'll try to simplify it as much as I can. Receive with the right hand, then the left. Step, follow step. Turn the left toe out. Bring the right foot forward. Control the wrist and elbow. Drop down. Now I don't pop up. I drive forward. And the hips, the control of the arm, they lift the opponent off of their toes using the straight arm, chin up. So it's a fantastic technique, one that the late Grandmaster Chang developed and mastered. I since learned a Qigong exercise to go with this. It's extremely useful. And that is, of course, play the guitar, Qigong, where you just shift your weight back and then up again. Not much forward weight. I'm really just dropping down and then raising up. In this case, I am dropping down and raising up. I'm inhaling as I drop down. Exhaling as I raise up. As I inhale, I use my mind and my dantian. I pull the energy in from the vortex in front of me. It's like a funnel that's aiming towards me. I pull it in from a distance, in between the two palms, into the dantian, connect the heel root. Then from the heel root to the dantian, I blow out the space between the arms back into the funnel. What I call 3, 2, 1. And then 1, 2, 3. Yi, san. Inhale from the funnel into the dantian, connect the heel root. Exhale, blow out the dantian through the arms back into the funnel. Same technique, other side. This foot's very light. Funnel's out there in front of you about 10, 15, 20 feet. The Qi Jing narrows till it gets between your arms into the dantian. The heel is a root. That means you don't pull the Qi down to the heel, you just pull it into the dantian, and then you don't push it out from the heel, you push it out from the dantian. Large energy field, medium into the dantian, heel connect, exhale, from the heel root, out the dantian, not out the palms, out through this general field of energy. It does take a little bit of practice. But if you want to develop that skill of play guitar, you'll not only need good technique, you'll need to have good control of your internal energy, your internal power, your chi, changing your chi into jing, adding that into good technique, good timing, and the right type of martial art experience.